On the night of November 22, 1987, Chicago television viewers watching the 9 p.m. news on WGN TV experienced a sudden, inexplicable blackout. The local anchors were cut off mid-sentence, leaving screens across the city dark. For 28 seconds, the broadcast was replaced by a figure in a rubber Max Headroom mask and sunglasses, swaying wildly in front of a rotating sheet of corrugated metal. The only sound was a persistent, low-frequency buzzing noise. At first glance, the intrusion had the hallmarks of a basement-level prank. The low video quality and bizarre behavior suggested an amateur teenager messing around with a consumer camcorder. However, forcing that specific signal onto a major network broadcast required significant technical proficiency. This wasn't a software hack, it was a high-level manipulation of specialized broadcast hardware. To understand the reality of the Max Headroom incident, one must look past the silly rubber mask and recognize the engineering required to forcibly seize a metropolitan television frequency. In the 1980s, analog television was governed by radio frequency propagation and line-of-sight delivery. Unlike modern digital streaming, seizing a feed meant intercepting a physical signal traveling through the air. This required signal overpowering. The hijacker had to generate a high-frequency broadcast signal that was physically stronger than the signals produced by the major network's multi-million-dollar transmitters. The target was a microwave receiver dish. These antennas, like the one shown, sat atop the Sears Tower, receiving the primary signal. Needing a clear path, the perpetrator positioned a powerful transmitter at a high elevation, with a direct line of sight to this receiver. Finding that location was only half the challenge. The hijacker also needed access to expensive, specialized broadcast hardware, equipment that was not available to the public and required deep technical knowledge to operate. The logistical and financial requirements of this takeover indicate the perpetrator had access to elite industry resources, effectively ruling out the possibility of a casual hobbyist. 2 hours later, at 11:15 p.m., the hijacker struck again. This time, the target was a different network, WTTW, during a broadcast of Doctor Who. This second breach lasted 90 seconds. It featured a manic laugh, rambling local media references, and ended with an unidentified accomplice spanking the masked hijacker with a fly swatter. While the content remained bizarre, the technical execution had improved. This second intrusion included distorted audio control, indicating the hacker had successfully calibrated their audio and video equipment between the two attacks. Retargeting and overtowering a second distinct network frequency within just 2 hours required a high level of operational skill. It proved that the first attack wasn't a fluke. This level of precision points toward a rogue broadcast engineer or an industry insider. Only someone with an intimate understanding of regional microwave links and transmitter frequencies could have executed these takeovers so efficiently. By treating the first disruption as a test and the second as a sustained takeover, the incident reveals itself as a highly coordinated demonstration of technical capability. The dual hijackings prompted an immediate response from federal authorities. The FCC and the FBI launched an investigation to find the broadcast pirate. The incident caused significant concern within the television industry. It demonstrated that if a private individual could seize a broadcast for a prank, they could also potentially use that same access to broadcast panic or propaganda. Federal agents interviewed members of Chicago's tech and engineering communities, searching for anyone with the specific equipment and the specialized knowledge required for such an intrusion. Despite the intensive investigation, no suspect was ever formally charged. The trail went cold, and the identity of the person behind the mask remains one of the city's most famous unsolved mysteries. The event's lasting significance lies in how it exposed the unencrypted, fragile nature of the analog broadcast era. It proved that the city's primary information channels could be seized by anyone with the right transmitter. The Max Headroom incident persists as a reminder that the tools of mass communication were once vulnerable to anyone with the specialized expertise to command them.